Hey guys, okay, so this video is going to be like all over the place because it's about requested by you guys how I prepared and what let me get the question exactly because I want to make sure that I answer all the questions. But yeah, I just came back from Nigeria and I asked on my Instagram, is there any specific video that you guys are interested in for me to do? So there was one really good question. And it said, I just see a video on how you managed to take care of Cam in Nigeria, or take him to Nigeria. How did you prepare for it? What did you pack? Did you have to get any vaccinations prior to travel to protect him from malaria and stuff like that? How was the flight? Any special thing you brought or did on the flight to keep him calm? Did you bring his bassinet to Nigeria with you? Anything you made sure to avoid while in Nigeria because of him? She said she was sorry for asking questions, but she wanted to visit Nigeria with so that her in-laws can have a chance to meet the baby, but she's scared. So all her questions were like perfect. Perfect. So for me, this was my first time going into traveling with a baby, my first time traveling with a baby. And then the thing is, my first time traveling, I'm traveling international, and the international to Nigeria. So I feel like that is like up there. Any other type of travel I feel like will be like a piece of cake for me. So to prepare, I actually asked a lot of moms like any tips, and I did ask on Instagram as well, like any tips you would give me for traveling with a baby, first time mom. So I got a lot of great tips. So some of the tips that I got, I'll share with you guys, and the rest of the tips are things that I kind of like, as you guys have noticed from my business videos and my mom videos, that I like to plan. I'm a planner. I plan ahead, and I anticipate like my next move or my next couple moves. So I kind of played out what it would be like to leave the house, go to the airport, get to the airport, get on the plane, land in Nigeria. I've been to Nigeria my whole life, you know, so I already know how things are. So it's like, now I'm going with a child. What will I need? What resources will I bring so I don't have to look for Nigeria? And like, what resources I know in Nigeria that I don't have to bring with me? So this video will be very comprehensive. I'm a very detailed, and I like to share details of things that I do and why I do them. So if you're interested in this video, stay tuned. Before going in, let me get the questions through that are like nothing to show you guys. That's like the malaria stuff. And I also do the visa thing. So for malaria vaccinations, so but by the time we traveled, he was already 5 months. So was it 5 months? Yeah, he was already 5 months. So he already had his 3-month shots. So he was up to date on all his shots, and there was no other shots that he could have taken based on his age. So he was fine with that. So for malaria, we actually got malaria prescription, but by the time we were gonna travel, the pharmacy didn't have it in stock and they had to order it, and it was already too late. So we just said, let's just wait till we get to Nigeria to get malaria medication, because we already know that the US isn't really like that advanced. Not that many people take malaria meds, so that's why one, they didn't have it in stock, and then Nigeria, they'll have it everywhere. So we said that's fine, we'll just get Nigeria. All right, so in addition to the medication for mosquitoes, I actually ordered a mosquito net bed for babies. It actually can be good for the beach as well. So when I got it off Amazon, it pops up. So this is it. It was perfect for what we needed, for what I needed. So this is it. This is how it looks. It zips up on this side. So it zips up, and then baby will go in here, and it's actually very roomy. Like, it's very wide here. So I'll put Cam in here, and there will be so much room around him. So I loved it. And then I'll just zip him up in this. And they came in many colors. Got it off Amazon. I'll link it down below. And that was it. It was perfect. Like, it was, and I can take this anywhere that I was. That was the mosquito net bed that I got for Cam. And he slept in this throughout the stay. Some naps I didn't put him in here. Most naps I did. as I said, where we were, I already surveyed the land. I already know how things were. There wasn't any mosquitoes, but just in case, and also for any other types of flies or anything, because where we were staying, you know, if he napped, then I would like let him nap in the room and like go upstairs, go downstairs and stuff like that, and hang out like with my mom and other people. So just in case that if there was a fly in the room or anything like that flying in the room, he would be protected. So not just mosquitoes, but all types of bugs. This is great for the beach as well. So we'll have this for a while. But I like how it folds up and stuff, and it has a carrying bag. So that's what I did for mosquitoes and all that stuff. So let's go to let me do the visa. So for the one thing about getting a Nigerian visa for children, because I'm a Nigerian citizen, I have a Nigerian passport, but Kem doesn't. But we'll eventually get that sometime this year. So when you go on the website to apply for a visa for a child, it's better to do a visa on arrival. So you have to do all the paperwork first, and then once they arrive, then they'll give them the visa, you know what I mean, instead of however other way to do it. I just did like that because we were short on time. I had like a couple days, like literally a week to like get all this together for the circumstance that we're leaving. And then also when I started the visa on arrival, we were traveling in the next 2 days. So I did the application online. The one thing that's kind of dumb about the application for visa for Nigeria is that the person that you're applying for, when you pay for their visa online, the name of your credit card has to match the name of the person that you're applying for. So obviously Kem doesn't have a credit card or a debit card, so it's not going to match. So if it doesn't match, then they have to register your bank account. And then when to register your bank account, you have to like put in all this information, and then it takes 2 days to verify, and then once they verified, then you can pay, and then processing will take like a week, 7 days, 14 days, whatever. So obviously I did not have that time. So what I did was I did the application, I didn't pay, called the immigration office in Abuja and told them that I need a visa on arrival for my son. We're traveling tomorrow. I just let them know that I don't have time to wait, so I needed it immediately. So I stressed that to them. So they told me to send them my email address, and then they'll process the visa for me and then send it to my email the next morning. So which was great. So if you're on crunch time and you don't have time to register your bank account and then process all those days, just call them right away and say you're traveling the next day and you need it now, and they'll process it there and send it to your email. So next morning I got it in my email. It was so easy. I was like, oh my gosh, this was so easy. So they sent it to my email. So then when I landed in Nigeria, then that's when I had to pay for the visa. So then preparing for the flight, actually to prepare for the whole trip, I'm a writer, I'm a planner, like a writing planner person. So I always write down, so I wrote down my travel list, and I wrote down, this is all things for me, all things for Cam. And then for me, what I need in my carry-on, and then what I need in my suitcase, and then for Cam, what he needs in the carry-on and what he needs in the suitcase. So I had to write it down so that when I went out shopping to buy stuff, you know, I don't miss anything. I didn't have time to be going back and forth. So just to be efficient. So for the plane ride, I know that you know, I packed PJs for him for the plane, to change into PJs. On the plane, when you book for like a baby, make sure you put in a request for a bassinet for like a sky cot, so that they put you in the aisle where they put the bassinet on the wall for you. And I'll insert a video of what it looks like. So he was able to have a bassinet on the plane. And then I bought a couple toys that he's never seen before, so that when we were flying and he needed something to play with, he saw new toys and he was very engaged and entertained by them. But Cam did so well on the flight. You wouldn't even know that I had a baby on the flight. He was so good. And also timing the flights based on their sleep schedule helps. Sometimes it's not always gonna work out, but for me it worked out perfectly, because both flights going to Nigeria and coming back were overnight flights that were left at like 10 p.m. and arrived like between 5 and 8 in the morning. So that was exactly Cam's bedtime, so it was perfect. So we boarded, he played a little bit, I gave him food, changed his diaper, put on his PJs, out to sleep. By the time we were landing, he woke up, had his breakfast, changed him into like regular clothes, and we were done. You know, like it was easy. So for flying, so that was that. For stroller, make sure that you get like a really good compact travel stroller. We have the UPPAbaby Vista, and I actually planned and bought a different stroller to travel with because I didn't want to travel with that one because I didn't want it to get banged up and scratched. And the UPPAbaby Vista stroller is not the most compact, but the stroller didn't come on time, so I just had to take the one that I had. And it got banged up and scratched as soon as we boarded the plane. It was just like, I knew this would happen. But I'm glad I took it because of all my carry-ons, because when you have a baby, you have a lot more carry-ons to bring on for them. So my stroller, you need to get a stroller that compact, good for traveling, but then very sturdy, because you're going to be carrying your diaper bag, travel on, or your carry-on bag. So you can have two carry-ons in addition to the diaper bag. So diaper bag doesn't count as a carry-on. So 2 carry-ons, a diaper bag, and then your stroller. So the stroller was my stroller that I have. It was able to contain and hold my baggage that I was carrying. You know what I mean? So if I just got like a rinky-dink stroller, it wouldn't have been able to carry the load of my carry-ons that I had. So make sure that when you're looking for a travel-on stroller, you get one that's very sturdy. I'll put a couple up on from Amazon that I was gonna get, and some of the ones that was thinking about for me to get. I didn't want to spend over $100 on this stroller because I knew that it was gonna be something that's just I need it right away, need it for traveling, nothing else fancy. But anyways, it didn't come, but I used the one I had. It worked perfectly. So I'm just thinking about when I get to the airport, how will I move? Like you know, like how will I move around with Cam? I had my mom travel with me, so that was to have a good person to travel with me to help with, you know, especially going through security. So going through security, what did I do? So I actually bought a carrier to carry him because everyone said to buy one, but then I realized that like it's not, in theory it sounds good, but for me, the type of traveler I am, it just was not, it didn't make sense, because it's like, okay, when I get to security, I have to take him out of the stroller and then put the carrier on and put him in the carrier and then all this. It was just like, I have someone that can help me. So what we did was, my mom, okay, I would say that will work if you don't have someone to travel with, but I did. So what I would do is I would use the stroller as far as I can. So by the time we got to the line to security, to put this stuff on the belt, that's when I would tell my mom would go first, put her stuff on. Then she would take Cam and hold him. And then I would put all my bags on and fold up the stroller. Actually, they passed through security, just wheeled it through. So by the time I finished packing my bags on the thing, then the security takes your stroller, puts it through the thing, and then I carry Cam walks through, and my mom walks through. And then as soon as I'm through, I put him right back into the stroller and then load the stroller. Everyone takes their bags and go. So if you have a person to do that, help you with like traveling and stuff like that, it works like that. Having a carrier and doing all that, putting it on and putting him in, it was just like not practical for me. So that was with going through what do you call it, the airport. So with food, if your child is older, it's so much easier if your child just eats regular food, but my baby is still on formula. So what I did was, so he has 8 bottles on regular. So what I did was I packed 3 in my carry-on, and then the rest of them I put in my regular suitcase. So by the time I get to Nigeria, you know, I'll join the bottles I took on carry-on with the rest of his bottles. So I just travel with 3 bottles, a brush, and soap, and a little like Ziploc bag thing. So so that anytime after you finish using it, I would wash it and then put it back in the bag. So that was that. If you're and Cam was 5 months, so I didn't have to sterilize the bottles anymore, but there's this travel sterilizer that's electric, and I'll link it down below. I saw on Amazon. If your baby is still young and you need to sterilize bottles, that's perfect because you can still plug it in. If you're in the airport, anywhere, you can plug it in and sterilize your bottle. So that's perfect. So I didn't need a sterilizer. So I carry 3 bottles with me. And then for water, I just bought bottled water after security. And then for for formula, I'll get it. Let me go get it. All right, so usually at home we do the ready feed formula, so it's already liquid, already mixed, don't need to add water. But that's not practical for traveling, and I'll be gone for a whole month. So I had to switch over to powdered formula. So I actually bought 3 cans of the powdered formula, and it was more than enough that I needed. And I would say make sure you bring way more than enough, because you never know. Because look what happened to us. I bought three cans. I knew that I would have excess and it was gonna be fine. And in my mind, I knew it'd be a lot more excess, but I was like, it doesn't hurt to bring excess. And then look at us. The whole coronavirus hits while we're in Nigeria, and we ended up having to be in Nigeria like many days longer than we were supposed to. So luckily I had plenty of formula extra, because that was not even in my mind when we left. But good thing I brought more. So what I like to do is travel with, so I bought a big, what do you call it, like a box of the gallon bags. So I just bought a box of them, and the little sandwich bags, and just put anything I need to put in the baggie, I put in a baggie. So when I talking about the brush to clean the bottles and the soap, I'll put it in this and put it in the travel diaper bag, which I'll get to. So I went to Dollar Tree and I found these. I was trying to find little containers where I can already portion out the powdered formula, so that when I'm traveling in the airport, on the airplane, I don't have to bring out the big can and then scoop how many scoops I need and then pour the water. So I bought these at Dollar Tree, and they're perfect size. So what I did was I took with me how many I would need for the 12-hour flight, 12-hour journey to the airport. And then I would put the ration for each bottle in this, close it up, and then put it in a big thing. So I had like maybe like 10 of these in here, and then the rest of these I just put it in my suitcase and stuff like that. So I had 3 cans of powdered formula. I brought 1 with me in my carry-on. The rest 2 I put it in my suitcase. So, and as I said, so the can was in my carry-on. I never need to bring it out, but just in case my baggage got lost, I still had formula for my baby. But for immediate feeding on hand, these were in the diaper bag. So I had plenty enough for the hours we were traveling. So that was that. So for food, what else? So I had plenty of diapers in the bag. I talked about the toys. I got so this is the diaper bag. So my regular diaper bag is the Hat brand diaper bag. I've shown it to you guys before. I'll show a picture of it. But for traveling, I wanted something that has way more pockets, because I'll be traveling with a lot more stuff, and then there's a lot more room to hold a lot more things. So this thing is the bag that I got. It has thousands of pockets, literally. So it has pocket here, here, this 1, 2, 3. Inside is a pocket for your laptop, back pocket. And then in this one they have the insulated, you can't see it, but it's insulated pockets for bottles here, and then a mesh pocket here. And in the back it has the thing where you put it over your suitcase. Whoops, everything's falling out. Back here they have the thing you put it over your carry-on suitcase, and they have like a secret mom pocket here, and they have this thing for charging your phone. So if you put your charger in this pocket here, then you can plug in your phone here. Side pocket here, mesh bag here, and then another side. This is for wipes. So you put your wipes in here, and then you just lift this up and take the wipes out. So this bag, and when I was looking for a travel diaper bag, I looked through all the ones, and I said this is the one I need. This is like the best overall, and it's the best. Like, I'm so happy that I got it off Amazon, and it was inexpensive. It was so good. So yeah, so I just packed everything in there. I had packed change of clothes, so I packed 2 changes of clothes. So one change in case since it was still winter here, in case he messed up his travel outfit, long sleeve and pants, I packed an extra. And then I packed a landing outfit. So when we land in Nigeria, it's going to be hot, so I packed a summer outfit for him, and then his pajamas, and then 2 pajamas, because sometimes his diaper leaks in the middle of the night and I have to change him. So just in case his diaper leaked on the plane, I would have another what do you call it, PJ. So that's what I had. So extra winter outfit, and then a landing outfit for hot weather, and then 2 PJs, and then a bunch of diapers, a baggie of the formula, 3 bottles, the brush and the soap for the bottles, hand sanitizer. I cannot stress enough, and I'll get into detail about being clean, germs, everything, because that's the most important thing. So I had a bottle of hand sanitizer in his diaper bag, bug spray, his little toys that I said I brought for him for the plane. And then when I got into the airport, I bought a big jug of water like this, the Dasani water, a big, I think this is a 1 liter, so enough for his formula for the whole flight. And then little extra like grocery bags, just in case you need to throw something away. But I actually have these diaper bags, disposable diaper bags. So anytime you change your diaper anywhere, there's no trash can, you just have these little, they're like little plastic bags. You put your diaper in there and then throw it away, especially for the plane. It's great. I had his pacifier and teether wipes. This is all gone now, but I had 2 packets of these Clorox to go wipes. And what's funny is that I got all this stuff before the whole corona thing hit the US. So I already stocked up on hand sanitizer. I had bottles and bottles of hand sanitizer. I had packets and packets of Clorox wipes. I had a whole spray bottle of alcohol. And then the whole thing hits and I was like, oh, good thing I got that. And then I have alcohol-free hand sanitizing wipes. So I'll get more into detail of like the cleanliness and germs, what I prepared for that for baby. But yeah, so that was basically it for carry-on. Let me go through it again. So I had, yes, bottles, formula, container, soap brush, snacks. I got snacks for myself. Oh, blanket. Yeah, I actually packed 3 blankets. Ones that Kamsi usually sleeps on and stuff. So I bought 2 I brought 1 for him, 2 for me. Like 1 baby blanket and then 2 regular blankets. And then just in case if he needs to lay down on something, I can make him like a makeshift bed with the blankets and stuff like that. You know, so I just packed 3 and it was exactly what I needed. Let's see. Yeah, outfits, onesies, bibs. I packed 14 bibs for traveling because he's teething right now, so it's ridiculous. Diapers, wipes, definitely wipes, Vaseline, hand sanitizer, toothbrush, toothpaste, that's for myself, electronics for me, toys for Cam. So yeah, so that was it for traveling. Let me go back to her question to see any other questions. And that was the only special thing I brought for him to keep him calm on the flight. And then another tip was feeding your baby at liftoff and takeoff and landing to help with the ears, because they're more prone to like getting their ears like popping and stuff like that, so they don't cry. So I actually brought his pacifier, which he doesn't use anymore, but just in case. But just feeding him was the best. It was just easier to feed him, so he never had any ear problems. All right, so that was it. So I'll get into more things that I brought for like when I get to Nigeria, what will I use to take care of Cam. But let me get into cleanliness, germs. So before this whole corona thing hit, I already knew that if I'm traveling on a plane, my son, he's teething, so his hands are always in his mouth, he's always touching everything. So it's like if I'm on the plane, I don't want him to be touching the plane seats and the window and the back of the chair and then putting his hands in his mouth. So that's why I got the Clorox wipes. So as soon as I got on the plane, I just wiped everywhere. I wiped all the window, all over, like all around the window, the back of the chair, my chair that I sat on, the handles. This is before corona thing hit, so I was doing the most. But now when you think about it, it was like everyone started doing it after. But I just wiped everything down so that anything that he touched, it was clean. So that was good. So then hand sanitizer, I had a hand sanitizer in my personal bag that I had on me, like my purse. I actually had a fanny pack. I had hand sanitizer in my carry-on bag, each carry-on bag, and a hand sanitizer in my diaper bag. So anything that I was doing, anywhere that I was at, if I needed to grab hand sanitizer, I had hand sanitizer anywhere. And I had these little bottles of hand sanitizer, these ones. I got these from the store, from the travel section. So that was that. So and hand sanitizer was plenty for me. So with that, and then anytime like the stroller would come back when we land, I wipe it down because you don't know where the stroller has been, because he's gonna be touching his stroller, touching his mouth. So wipe down the stroller every time we would get it. And then always hand sanitize my hands. I would hand sanitize his hands just in case anything. And then I would make sure that nobody, this was my main thing of traveling to Nigeria, and a lot of what my parents were telling me, they were like, if you're going to Nigeria with Cam, don't let people touch him, and don't be passing around your baby to everybody. And then don't feel bad if someone wants to carry your baby and you decline. And this was right before Corona hit, so I already knew that. I wasn't even thinking about Corona, I was thinking about just people's germs on their hands. And then when Corona started happening, I was just like, oh, good thing I was already doing this, because So yeah, so Cam, he always gets a lot of attention anywhere, so people are always prone to, like, you know, like, oh, he's so cute touching his hands, or like touching his face, you know. It's like when you realize like how much people kind of like cross that like barrier of like, don't put your dirty hands on my child, you know what I mean? So yeah, so anywhere we went, if anyone was like reaching for, I was like, oh, you can just touch his feet, or I was like, or I'll be like, no touching, you know. I was just trying to say like, no touching, you know. Or like if their hand was coming, I would just like put my hand there, and then like if I thought they understood that I'm like, don't touch my baby, you know. So that was that. So that's like going to the airport, going to the stores in Nigeria. And then anytime I would do it, I would be like, oh, no touching, you know. They would be like, oh, American baby, we can't touch American baby. I was like, oh, I just want to keep him safe, you know. And just don't, as I said, don't feel bad for like, you know, putting that barrier of like, don't like keep your hands, you can touch his feet, you know what I mean. That's about it. But just keep your hands to yourself. And then being around family, I already knew that everyone's gonna want to carry Cam, everyone's gonna be wanting touching him, so I limited the people that would be carrying him and touching him. I can count that. I think I let 3 people carry Cam the whole time I was in Nigeria. One was Chris's sister, but she came to help me with Cam on for a couple days, and then my dad's sister, and then my auntie. Those are the 3 people that actively held Cam that whole time. So yeah, so when people come around, they'd be like, oh, like they would, without even asking, because like it's just culture, they just like, oh, and they take him like, oh no, I'll hold him, you know. And they'll be like, oh, I can't carry him. I was like, oh, I just want to keep him safe, you know. Or I was like, I just want to limit germs, or, you know, I was like, I don't want too many people touching him. That's what I would say, and they would get it, and then they would decline. There was even this one time we were at my uncle's house, and this one lady, Cam was napping, and then I think she was like waiting for him to wake up, and like I'm not related to her, I don't know her, but she was like friends of like family that was there. So she saw that he woke up, so she just like, you know, made her way to the Cam, like bent down to pick him up. And I was like, oh no, you can just leave him here. And she was like, what? I was like, just leave him here. She's like, oh, I can't carry him. I was like, no, just leave him here, he's okay, you know. So it's just like, you don't have to do what I did, but kind of just think about people's hands, what they're touching. Being in like Nigeria, things are very dusty, and you know, you don't know where people have been, what Nigerian money is so dirty, like you don't know if people have been, you know. So it's just like, if you just make your own rules, you know what I mean. So if that's what you want to do, just do it, but just think about the safety of your child. You don't want them to get any type of, you know, like sickness or anything. And it's like, you're in a foreign country, you know. It's like you, God forbid, you know, you want them to get like a stomach bug or any kind of infection or any virus or anything like that, and you're like in a foreign country, Nigeria, and it's like, where are you gonna go look for like reliable, like, you know, healthcare or something like that, you know. So just be careful with who you let touch your baby, where they're touching them. If someone comes and wants to see your baby, they can look at it, and, you know, just limit touching. People always want to touch his face, so limit touching the face, the hands, just touching the feet, you know. So that's that. There's something else about that I was gonna say. Oh yeah, with water. So when I got to Nigeria, I knew that if I'm washing bottles, it's like, what water are you washing your bottles with in Nigeria? You know, where's your water source coming from? So I didn't assume or just pray to God the water is clean. I was very vigilant on making sure that any water that Cam drank or that touched his bottles was sterilized. So even the water I used to wash his bottles, make sure I use sterilized water. So even the bottled water, personally for me, I didn't trust it all the way. So for water, so what I did was I brought a container. I got it from the Dollar Tree, like a clear container, empty, like big jar container, and I used that to store water for all his formula feedings. So I would get bottled water and boil it in a kettle, and then pour it in there, and then throughout the day, I do it every night, so then throughout the day, the next day, I would use that water. So that's what I did for bottle feedings. And then washing his bottles, and then after I wash his bottles, I would get a big pot or a big bowl, and then boil his bottles in the pot, or like boil water and pour it in the bowl, and let it sterilize for some time. So as I said, I don't know where all the places that we were, the water sources. I don't know if it's clean, is it reliable? I don't know. I'm not gonna assume that. So I was very careful with that, because the last thing you want is your baby to be drinking contaminated water, and then you have an issue on hand that you don't know how to solve. So yeah, so be very vigilant in that. So that's what I did. So I think that's mainly it for all the things that I can think of. And then I'm gonna go to my suitcase and like look through it and like say things like, oh yeah, I got this for this and this for this. So for your child, in addition to like the little toys, so I brought the little hand toys for the plane, but then I actually packed his bouncer and his play mat, and then his like little block toys and stuff like that. So those are the toys I knew that he could play with once we get to Nigeria and like wherever we were staying. So his bouncer, you've seen his bouncer before in like my vlogs and stuff like that, like his little block toys and stuff like that he builds. And then his play mat. So any type of like play mat for babies, so that you can just spread it on the floor, because usually the floors in Nigeria are like hard, like marble floors. So if you want to play on the floor, I can just spread the mat and then you can play on the floor. So that was it. So let me go through. So this was like one of my carry-ons that I had. So in my carry-on, I just put like I have more bags of like shopping bags, just in case. So just bring them just in case I need to put something in there. I don't think there's anything in like baby stuff in here, so I think that's fine. Let me go through this. Oh yeah, that let me go get that. All right, so for bath time for Cam, I can't even talk. I know we would be moving around to different types of locations, like hotels and all that stuff like that, and like my house, all that stuff, family houses. So for bath time for him, I don't know how the bath would be. Is it only a shower? You know, is it whatever? So I actually just bought this from the store. Just a plastic tub. Any type of plastic tub will do. And this is what I use to take Cam a bath. So I would just like fill it up with water, and then he would sit in it. Perfect size for him. Take my bath in there, and it fit in my suitcase. So I put it in the bottom of my suitcase and filled it out with like clothes and whatever that you put in your suitcase. So this is I knew I need to bring this because, as I said, I don't like movement in Nigeria is kind of up and down. So it's like I don't know when I get to Nigeria what I find in time to go to the store to find a basin for him. So I said, let me just bring it so I don't, when I go to Nigeria, I know that I have everything that I need. You know what I mean? I don't have to go tell someone to go to the market for me or go to the store for me to buy something. So brought this, bath time, boom. This drying rack, I brought for the bottles. After I wash it, I can like put in the drying rack, but I actually bought another basin like this, but a smaller version, so that after I finish washing bottles, I'll throw it in there and I know they're clean. And then I ended up just using it as like a drying bin for the bottles, so I ended up not needing a drying rack, but just bring just in case. But I forgot to mention that, yeah, I bought another basin for washing bottles. This was the carrier that I brought, but I ended up not using it, and I might return it because I didn't know carriers are that expensive for no reason. This is actually the baggie of the dishwashing liquid that I use for his bottles. You don't have to bring soap, but I just brought the soap because no matter where I was, you never know if you're gonna need it. So yes, because I actually put this in the suitcase of the check-in, but then for my carry-on I got a little container from the travel section at the store and poured the soap in here so that I don't have to bring this big bottle. Obviously I can't bring it through security, so I just did poured a little bottle and stuff. So that's that. I actually bought a packet of toilet paper just in case I needed it, and in Nigeria toilet paper is not everywhere. So yeah, and they ration out toilet, so if there's toilet paper in the public bathroom, they ration it out to you. So growing up, my mom always brought a packet of toilet paper, so naturally for me, when I'm going to Nigeria now, I just do the same thing my mom did. So I had packs of, I just bought 1 pack, 4 rolls, so I had 1 roll left over, and then usually we leave it. If we don't use it, we leave it in Nigeria. But when we were in Nigeria, the whole corona thing started and people were hoarding toilet paper, so I said, oh, I'm bringing this back. So I brought it back. But normally I wouldn't. All right, I think this is all that's in here. Yeah, this is actually the base, though the toy is downstairs, but this is the base of 1 toy, and it like sits in here, and then you can like suction it to like anywhere, so it's good for the plane. So like on like the window or like the table, you can suction it, and then the toy like sits up like this and you can play with it. So that's the basement of that. All right, this is actually, and okay, so I brought the bouncer. This is the bouncer. It actually comes apart. So this is the bouncer. That's what I use because I needed a bouncer, and it actually was very helpful. Like the times like in the mornings if I would be eating breakfast, because the thing is, like when I traveled to Nigeria, Chris didn't travel with me. My mom was with me, but my mom was very busy in Nigeria, so most of the time I was just taking care of Cam by myself. So it's like you don't have your partner there to like trade off. Okay, you hold him, let me do this, and then I'll hold him, you do this. So I knew that I needed to have a chair for him. So times I was washing bottles and my mom wasn't around, eating breakfast, taking a shower, I needed Cam to be in something, so that helps a lot. Diapers. So the diapers are still in my suitcase here. A lot of diapers left over, which is good because diapers are kind of scarce right now with all the corona stuff. So I just got 1. Actually, what was perfect was we had someone come to visit my parents, and they gave a baby gift, and in part of the gift was a box of Pampers diapers. So her gift, I just used that as like my travel diapers, so I didn't have to, thank God, I didn't have to buy like a new pack of diapers. It was on my list, and then she came and brought it, so I was like, oh, perfect. So it was a big pack, like over 100 diapers, so it was overly enough. But I would say buy a big pack of diapers. So I got it, unpacked it, and then just packed it in this suitcase. So I still have a lot left. So that's that. What else did I bring? Let's see. As I said, plenty. So I brought 14 bibs in the carry-on, and all the bibs he has, I put the rest of it in this suitcase. So that was that. Let's see, what else did I bring? Oh, this was another good one. I have more shopping bags. Here's like more of the sandwich bags and stuff like that. As I said, bring a box of sandwich bags and a box of the gallon bags. So you need little bags to put a lot of things in. So another thing is that not only do I have my own clothes, I have Cam's clothes. We'll be moving up and down a lot when we're in Nigeria. So I knew that I wanted to have a good organization of clothes because I didn't want to be living out of a suitcase. Anytime I was at somewhere, I would just unpack his clothes and my clothes. So what I did was these little organizations, you guys have seen it in my baby nursery get ready thing when I was about to give birth. So I got these drawer organizers on Amazon. So I actually brought them so that when I would pack them up and then get to where I was, I can just unpack Cam's clothes. So I had one for like all his bibs, then all his onesies and all his pants, and you know, they had a couple for me, so that I don't have to be digging through my suitcase every day to find things. I just bring them out, put them in the closet of the hotel or wherever we're at, and then it was organized. So I brought a couple of them. I brought this one, I brought a cube size, the big square kind. But they're perfect because like they fold up like this, and then the base is like this, and it's flat. See how flat it is? And I just put them in my suitcase. So you open it up and then like that, and then organized. So yeah, so I just brought those. Let me see how many I brought. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 of them, all different sizes, and I needed them and they worked perfectly. So I love that, and I think that's it. Another tip I had was, so I know that I'll be dealing with pushing a stroller to the airport and then holding cam. So my handbag was actually a waist bag, like a fanny pack. I got it from Michael Kors, and the day before I traveled, so oh, this is perfect. So I just put it around like my front or like on my waist, so I don't have to worry about digging for like, oh, let me get my bag so I can get this and that. So I put the passports in there, lip gloss, hand sanitizer, my headphones, my phone, my wallet, and I put it in there. So anytime I need it, it's like right there while I'm carrying cam, or if I'm pushing the stroller, holding the stroller with one hand, putting my hand in the bag to get whatever I needed out. So white noise machine, I brought that. Even though Nigeria is actually a very loud country, because there's a lot of things going on, a lot of generators and traffic, so it naturally has its own white noise, but I brought the white noise just in case. So I use it every night still. And then the baby monitor, the one that I got, I mentioned it in my baby essentials video, but I'll link it down below. I love it. A very, very good monitor. It's like a two-way monitor. You can talk. It's like it has a walkie-talkie, so you can talk to the baby through the monitor. It has night vision, it has white noise, it can play music. You can hook up multiple cameras to it. It's color screen monitor. Very good monitor. So I use that. I wrote it here to pack, and then when I was packing I was like, well, I really need it, and then Chris was like, just bring it. And then when I got to Nigeria, I used it every day, all day. So I'm glad I had Chris tell me just to bring it, because it's like when your baby's napping, you're gonna move around and go other places in the house, you know, so it's always good, just like you are here at home, to have a monitor, you know. So I'm glad that I brought it. I brought this insect repellent, so as soon as we landed in Nigeria, I sprayed it all over cam for the insect repellent, so it was good. Baggie of like baby rescue stuff, so, and rescue stuff for mommy. So I had loratadine in here. I had loratadine, Dramamine for motion sickness, ibuprofen, and sinus decongestion, right? Yeah, because anytime I go to Nigeria, the amount of dust in the air that gets in my nose and like my airways, anytime I go to Nigeria and come back, I always have like sinus congestion or a sore throat every single time. And I have like my throat is kind of sore right now because I know it's from all the dust in Nigeria. So for baby rescue, I got Little Remedies gripe water. Cam gets hiccups sometimes. I got Benadryl itching gel, just in case we did get bug bites, but we didn't, thank God. So, but I brought that just in case. I brought the Zarbee's natural baby cough syrup and mucus, for if just in case he had like any kind of like congestion or anything like that. I brought 2 medicine droppers, Motrin, baby ibuprofen. I brought first aid antibiotic ointment, and actually used this for myself because actually when there was a time that I was like going outside and opened the gate in Nigeria, and the bolt was like stuck, so I kept pulling it, and then by the time it was able to move back, my skin on my finger got caught between like 2 pieces of metal, and it cut it bad, and I was like, oh my gosh. But good thing I brought my antibiotic, because who knows how, because I think that gate was rusty. Ooh, another drop. And then I got a little packet. I brought this at the travel section, a little container, and I put all my ibuprofen in here. So and then a first aid, travel first aid, and all this first aid stuff I needed for myself, and I used everything. So in the first aid, there's triple antibiotic ointment, the same thing that's this, sterilize hand cleansing wipes, sterile pads, and then a bunch of band-aids. So I ended up using all of that stuff for when I hurt my finger, so it was good. So that was it. That was all the stuff that I brought for Nigeria. I hope I answered all your questions about that. If there's more questions you have for me, leave it down below, and I'll do another video at answering more stuff. But I'm just gonna make sure that I answered all her questions. Oh, somebody asked about what do you call it, car seat. So all I brought was his stroller. I didn't bring his car seat. I thought about it, but I was just like, to be realistic, I know I won't need it in Nigeria. People usually don't use car seats in Nigeria, and I knew that it would be fine because the way traffic here and the way people drive here in the US is completely different in the way they drive in Nigeria. And the roads are different. So the roads that are different, it makes the way people drive different. So in Nigeria, and if you've been to Nigeria before, you already know the roads aren't smooth. Like, they're bumpy, they're rocky, there's a lot of like holes, potholes and stuff like that. So your traffic doesn't move going 80 miles per hour. Like, people are driving slow because they're going through gallops on the road. There's traffic, you know, people are walking everywhere. So people aren't driving like you do here in the US, 50, 60, 70, 80 miles per hour. So there's not fast traffic. And then with that, so you're already not going at a fast speed. And you know how people here, they drive and then, like, you know, road collisions and stuff, driving fast, cross sections, you know, that's what you're protecting your baby from. Is just like if you have a crash on collision or whatever. So traffic is not like that in Nigeria. So it's just like the incidence of that is low, you know, than compared to the US. So yeah, somebody asked about the car seat, so I didn't bring it, but I know some people that do. I feel like I've heard maybe like 1 or 2 people in my life bring a car seat, but it's not, I don't think it's needed. And also it's very hot in Nigeria, so being in a car seat and it's hot, it's just whatever. Anyways, it's your decision. So if you want to bring it, you feel comfortable, bring it. I would say bring it, you know what I mean? You can't be too overly safe or too overly cautious about anything with your child, you know what I mean? So do what you want to do what makes you feel okay, you know? So if you want to bring a car seat, bring the car seat. So that's that. I think that's it. Hopefully this video isn't too long, but I want to be thorough. I'm very thorough in my videos explaining things like this, you know. I like to talk a lot when it comes to this. So anyways, as I said, if there's anything I missed or you have any more questions about traveling to Nigeria with your baby or with you or whatever, leave it down below and I'll make another video on that. Other than that, I think that's it. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.